Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's the end of another month, so we know what that means. It's a what I read in April, and we're joined by Bertie today because we're looking after him for a little bit. So he might stay, he might get up and move, but he's in the shop for now. So if you can hear noise, that's why. So we're gonna go into the books I've read this month. I've read 5 books this month, which is the most I've read in any month so far. So really impressed that I've managed to read 5 books. So let's start. The first book was Claire Mackintosh, A Game of Lies. I was bought this book last year for my birthday, but I've only just got around to reading it. Never read any of Claire Mackintosh's books before, and this is part of a trilogy, but this is the second one, but you can read it as like a standalone. So this was basically about a reality show. So a reality show has been created and there's contestants, and kind of like they go on a reality show thinking it's a survival reality show, but then they go on the reality show and it's not quite what they think it is, and then someone goes missing. So they're like, the police are searching for this missing man, and then during that time there's also a murder. So there's lots of things that sort of start to unravel, and like secrets and lies and things. It's set in Wales, which was actually a nice touch because I visited Wales last year, so I kind of had an idea of what the surrounding area would be like. I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed this book, but it didn't wow me, it didn't sort of surprise me. It sort of, the first part was really good, sort of introducing the characters, the premises of like the reality show and the characters going on that show. The middle, like the part 2 middle part of the book seemed very sort of samey, of trying to figure out what was happening and just sort of going to the same places and trying to investigate. There wasn't a lot that went on, and then the end of like part 3 was where everything sort of tied up and it sort of really sort of picked up its pace. So I thought the pacing was a little up and down. I've seen a lot of people rave about Claire Mackintosh's books. Like I say, it's not the worst book ever, but it wasn't the best. It was sort of just on par, a bit average for a crime novel. It wasn't anything that exciting. It was enjoyable. Like I said, I finished it. It did take me a while to get through because I did, like I said, I did feel like it dragged a little bit. But I might check out maybe another one of hers out of this sort of series. I know she's just released a new book quite recently. So yeah, Claire Mackintosh, A Game of Lies. Number 2 of the month was an author that I've recently discovered. I think this was in my February reads. So I've checked out another book by this author, and it's Every Move You Make by C.L. Taylor. I just love the way C.L. Taylor writes, and I love that you can really feel your presence with these characters in the books, and this goes for this one as well. So this one was about a group of stalkers. So they kind of set up a WhatsApp support group, and they all sort of knew each other through this support group. And then right at the very beginning, one of the people that is in the group gets murdered by her stalker. So a lot of that is then how to keep themselves safe. So how are they going to stop themselves from getting caught by their stalkers? So they buy like devices and then lots of things. I can't really say a lot because it'll give the plot away. But then something else happens and they have to go and like rescue somebody, and it's very fast paced. I really enjoyed this one, and I didn't see what was going to happen because I thought I'd figured it out about halfway through, and then it wasn't that. So yeah, the twists in this was really good. I think at the very end, when you know when you think you get to a twist and then you get to the end of the book and it's actually, there's another twist. That was what this was like, and that twist was very unexpected. It was amazing, and yeah, she did a great job with this storyline. Every chapter was kind of like a different person in the group. Some were quite short chapters as well, but yeah, it kept you on your toes, it kept you guessing, and you really did feel like you were with the characters, and I wanted to keep reading because it was that good. So I loved this, and I've recently bought another C.L. Taylor book to add to my collection because I just love her writing. So yeah, this one was great. Highly recommend if you like your true crime books, because this one was amazing. The third book that I read was part of another series. I wasn't planning on reading it right now, but the second series on Netflix is just about to come out in May, so I wanted to read the book first, and it's Good Girl, Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. So this is the second in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I actually really liked this one. I liked this one better than the first one, and I think it's because when I read the first one I'd already watched the show, so I knew what the ending was going to be, whereas I haven't obviously watched anything to do with this one. So this one was great, and this is back with Pip and Ravi, and Pip wants to start a podcast of all about the first book, basically all about the murder that she solved, and have people on talk about it. She says she doesn't want to be investigating like a murder or a mystery again until somebody goes missing and comes to her asking for her help. So that's the premises of the book, and I like the style. I mean, it's a young adult book, so again, I am a little bit old for the sort of audience it's aimed at, but so many people my age read these books. I love that it's written sort of with a bit of podcasts in there, text messages in there, and it's also written like a story. So you get like the podcast from Pip, so you get that sort of way of writing. You get a few text messages, but then you also get it written like a third person story. So it's very different to a lot of books that you would get. I loved the ending. Again, didn't expect the ending, and the ending was very dramatic, fast paced, and kept you thinking and hoping that everything was going to work out okay. So I'm looking forward to reading the third one. I think I held this one off as well just because I didn't enjoy the first one as much, but I'm glad I read this one because I couldn't put it down. It didn't take me that long to read, so I'm glad I went back to them, and will eventually read the third one, and I'm hoping the TV show is just as good. But yeah, Good Girl, Bad Blood. I feel like I can't really say much about these books because there's so many that are just crimes or psychological thrillers that if you say much, it just gives the whole plot away. So sorry if I'm not saying a lot, but yeah, really enjoyed this one. And I will check out Holly Jackson's other books that aren't from this series as well at some point. Okay, number 4. It wouldn't be a book video of a month without a Freida McFadden book. I feel like most months we've had a Freida book. I think maybe every month. I could be wrong. But this is one I picked up quite recently, and it's The Co-Worker. I was looking for this one everywhere, and I couldn't find it for ages, and then I managed to pick it up for like £5, so can't complain. This one was absolutely amazing. I've seen so many reviews of this online, very mixed, and the main review that people were saying that they use the word turtles too much, because I was thinking, well, how can you use a word too much in a story? And reading this, it's very clear that one of the characters in this is autistic. Absolutely very clear, and that shows that Freida's writing is very good because one of the characters isn't and one of the characters is, and it's very clear to see that that character is autistic, which makes sense of why turtles is constantly talked about, because that's what her special interest is. So she talks about turtles a lot because she finds it easy to talk about, she enjoys it, and she knows lots of facts. So yes, turtles come up a lot in this book, but it works because of the way the character is written. Like, it is written like an autistic person. She's done an amazing job of getting that across onto paper into the story, and I don't know if people are missing that. Like, it's very obvious that this person had special needs and had that as an interest. So I don't think that it should be a negative of saying the word turtles was used too much, because that's what autism is. Like, a lot of autistic people have those interests and talk about those interests a lot. Like, if I'm working with people with autism and having family members on the autistic spectrum, that is what it is, and unless you've been around it, I don't think people know. So I think that people probably need to be more mindful of that and be sort of more understanding that that is what that is. So I'll just get that cleared up, because that was the one thing when I was reading it that stuck out to me straight away was, well, that person's autistic. It's very clear, which also makes it more of a mind-boggling story. Like, this plot really boggled my mind in a good way. So it's basically you've got Dawn, who is one of the co-workers who hasn't turned up to work, and her they're all wondering sort of where she is, because with her being autistic, which it doesn't say, but she's very on time management, so she arrives at the same time every day, so it's very unlike her to not be in the office at 8:30 or 9 a.m, whatever time it says. And then you've got Natalie, who is the person who works in, they call it a cubicle next to her, but I think it's those like in an office where you just have them sort of blocked off next door. So she's like the neighbour who works next to Dawn. So that's like the plot of the story. Natalie then goes to investigate like where her house, because she says she dropped her off once, so she's going to go and see if she's okay. And then things lead to her finding that there's blood in the apartment, and there's like odd things that have happened. And then the police come round, and then I think the police are trying to frame Natalie. So there's lots of things going on, but it was very interesting, because the way they portray Frida portrayed Dawn in this book was the majority of the book until you got to sort of like the very end part was purely Dawn's emails like in the past. So it was never like the present, obviously, because they didn't know where she was. So everything was like emailed. That was how she was portrayed in the book for most of it. And I think that's what made it really difficult, because it was saying certain things about Natalie, and then they were portraying Natalie as a completely different person. So then you didn't know who was telling the truth and who was lying, and did it really happen, did it not, which is obviously the point of the books. It's not going to make it obvious sometimes for you to work it out. So I was really like confused, mind boggled, no idea where this was going to go. And sometimes with the Frida book I can sort of see where it's going. I had absolutely no idea where this was going to end, and that's why it's probably one of my favourite Frida books now, just for that reason alone. The twist I did not see coming at all. That was amazing. And then there's an even more of a twist at the end. So again, there was like multiple twists going on. It was amazing. It was so good. I couldn't put this one down. I think it only took me 3 days to read. Like, they're so easy reads, and it was, yeah, it's just very interesting. It's also interesting that they used an autistic person as a person that you wouldn't, because normally you think, well, someone with special needs, there wouldn't be anything that they'd be involved in, and they wouldn't be capable of doing certain things. And it's obviously portraying that that's not always true, but it also portrays that about sort of people not being very nice to people that are on the autistic spectrum. And that comes across in this book, and I know a lot of people said that they don't like that that's how that's portrayed, but unfortunately a lot of the time that is reality, and I think that comes across well, and also fits in with the storyline of why Dawn was the character that she was, because of how she was treated for her needs. So I think Frida did a fantastic job of portraying a person with autism, because I've never really read many books that portray that in there. So yeah, The Co-Worker was a 5-star read for me this month. And the final book that I read this month is very, very different. So all these have been sort of like crime books this month. This one is more of like, I don't know if it's an autobiography or a memoir, but it's basically like non-fiction. I'll say that it's a non-fiction book, and I wanted to read this one just because it was short, and I thought it'd fit in with the end of the month, because I wasn't sure if I would how many more I would get through. So I thought if I read a short one, then I know at least I've got another one for my video for the month. I've read the first one, and I've got the second one, and there's 5 in the series, and I bought them for, I want to say my birthday, not last year, I think the year before, and I'd only read the first one. So it's Jeremy Clarkson, Diddley Squat, When the Cows Come Home. So if you are not a UK viewer, this is Jeremy Clarkson's book about his life on the farm, because on Amazon Prime there is a show called Clarkson's Farm, and Jeremy Clarkson is known for Top Gear and like being very into cars and doing that sort of thing, and he's turned a corner and gone into farming to give that a try. So this one is basically just different little chapters about things he's sort of done on the farm, or things he struggled with, or things he wasn't expecting to do as a farmer, and sort of the teachings. And there's also little bits in there of like his opinions on the world and his opinions on the farming, and just, it's a very, very easy read. It doesn't take long to read. It's just over 200 pages. But I enjoy it. I like Clarkson's Farm. I don't mind Jeremy Clarkson as a person. He can be quite controversial, but his books are pretty easy to read, and I like the show, so that's why I've read that one, and I now need to get the other 3. So it's a bit of a different read, but I do like reading like non-fiction or like books that celebrities have written. I just haven't got round to reading a lot of them recently because I'm trying to keep up with absolutely every book that I've got. And there's been no Kindle books this month because I'm trying to get through my massive pile behind me, even though I've just bought 2 more books. So yeah, this one was a 3-star read just because, again, it's hard to sort of give a non-fiction book a score because it's a non-fiction book. It's their life. There's not, you can't really rate somebody on their life alone. So it was a 3-star just because it was an easy read. But like each chapter's sort of got like a picture, so it's very easy. So like sometimes it just takes like a full spread, and you've got different seasons. But then the writing is like this, so it's a very, very easy read. But if you're sort of a person that might think, I don't know what books to get into, or I find reading really hard, this one might be for you, just for how easy it is to sort of read and get into, especially if you like Clarkson's Farm. Try and give these a read. Even the Caleb books, they're very, very easy to read. So a bit of a quicker video, I feel like I've not spoke a lot, but like I say, with the crime books, I can't really say a lot without giving the plot away. I feel like it's been a very positive month for books this month, as I've enjoyed all of them. Again, some more than others, but I haven't hated any book. I haven't sort of finished that book and thought I absolutely hated every second of that. So that's a positive. So we wait now until what I read in May. I also am going on a trip in May, so there will hopefully be some vlogs coming of that, because I don't want to just be making purely book videos. I do still want to do vlogs if I'm doing anything, but there hasn't been anything really. So there will be a trip coming with my friend at the end of May, as well as my book video, so look forward to that. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more from me. Let me know what you've read. Let me know if you've read any of these books, because I know some of these can be quite popular. So yeah, let me know. Drop a comment, drop a like. Yeah, I think that's everything. And I will catch you in the next one. Goodbye.